been in Sydney Harbour for the past 3 weeks waiting for an appointment. In the meantime, we have been sailing to different anchorages and getting lots of practice anchoring and sailing off the anchor. We've enjoyed the convenience of being anchored near the Northern Yacht Club and seeing the youngsters out every day learning how to sail. They also have sailboats for the handicapped that we've seen in use, which is nice to see.
I am raising the mainsail in preparation to sail off the anchor. Now we have the shore fairly close behind us, so it's essential that we have sail up so that once the anchor does break free, that we can sail away. You'll observe that the boat tacks back and forth, and it's doing this on its own with the tiller lashed to the center. And each time the boat tacks, it gives me an opportunity to get more of the slack anchor rope up. It's important to reef the mainsail to match the conditions at the time, and if the conditions are quite strong, it's important to be careful with the anchor chain to get it into the chain stopper or the line cleated off well before the boat fetches up against the road and starts to tack again. The loads can be quite high, so it's important to be careful. So we break the anchor free on starboard tack and finish hauling it in, except that I managed to hook onto a buoy from a lobster trap, so I got to reach over the side and unhook that, throw it aside, and then we carry on.
Careful. Yeah. The anchor is up.
Good.
Like a mirror this morning. This is lovely anchorage we're at here. It's just so nice and calm. Oats for breakfast.
Always.
Always our oats for breakfast. And green tea every morning with my oats.
So I'm installing these LED lights in my tool crib so I don't have to use the inverter to
turn on my construction clamp lamps. These are the items here. They just plug together. And they snap onto these stainless steel brackets. The lights are in and working. I don't really need the strobe light effect there, but that's what it comes with, a remote control. And they really light the place up quite well. No trouble finding anything in there, and don't have to use the inverter to power the lights anymore. We're sculling across the harbor here, no wind. Might get a little whisper here in a minute. Usually get it going a little over a knot, better. This is light wind sailing now.
1.7 knots. Oh, we're moving anyway. Speed now?
2.6.
2.6. It's better than 1.6. Nice calm evening. We are moving to a different anchorage, and we're going to a different part of Sydney, the other arm, I forget what it's called right now. We're just sailing over there, and I'm making tea, which I always enjoy tea while we're sailing. Working our way up into a nice protected spot. It gets narrower as we go.
Just heading to the grocery store. Railroad tracks made right here in Sydney, Nova Scotia, but sadly not anymore.
Getting our supper ready, and Mark's frying up some salmon. He does the fish and I do the rest. So what are we up to today, Mark? What project are you working on?
Changing the way I have my connections for my solar panels because the deck connectors I bought just don't seem to be any good. They corrode, and so I'm going to connect everything in here on a terminal block.
So these are my deck connectors for my solar panels, and they just don't work very well. The pins have corroded, and the pins just don't make a good tight fit in the socket, and I lose voltage. So I'm going to make my connections inside on that terminal block, and that should fix things up. Just getting ready to put my terminals on there, stripping the wires. Okay, so I'm going to crimp these terminals on. Once they're crimped on, I'm going to solder them. A little bit of voltage there, nothing to worry about.
Up to 68 watts, that jumped her up a bit. And do the other two and see how that does.
So
we should be able to get 100 watts on a day like today.
So what do we have for solar panels up there,
We
Mike?
have 120 watts worth of solar panels. But on a bright sunny day like today, we should be able to do a lot better than 50, 60 watts. Yeah, nice sail across here. Downwind out of Sydney River, and clean reach across here now.
.3 knots, moving along nicely. You can support this content by following the Patreon link and becoming a patron. Your support is appreciated. Thanks for watching.